Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at AI in space exploration.
Ooh, very cool.
We've got a ton of really cool sources for this one.
Yeah.
We've got some articles from NASA.
Okay.
We've got a couple of YouTube videos about AI in space.
Yeah.
And we've even got one about this classified U.S. AI program
Really?
called Sentient.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty interesting stuff. We're going to see how AI is being used and will be used to push the boundaries of what we can do out in space.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're already seeing it with, self-driving cars and things here. So to think about that going into space is kind of mind-blowing.
Right. And I mean, that's just one tiny example, when you think about the vastness of space
Right.
and all the things we don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that NASA's been using AI for a while now, decades.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even a new thing for them.
No, they've been kind of pioneers with it behind the scenes for a long time.
So what are some of the examples of how they're using it?
Well, one of the coolest examples, I think, is the Perseverance rover.
On Mars.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It uses terrain relative navigation.
I read about that.
Yeah, it's basically AI that helps it
Navigate.
Yeah, all the crazy Martian terrain. And it's even able to spot stuff that might be scientifically interesting and adjust course to get a better look.
Wow. So it's like a self-driving rover.
Exactly, yeah. A self-driving car, but for another planet.
That's crazy. And so, that's getting us there. But then once we're there, they're also using it to analyze all the data, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's this really cool system called SPOC that uses AI to figure out what Martian soil is actually made of, chemically.
Wow.
Which I guess tells scientists back here on Earth a lot about the planet's history and helps them look for stuff like, past life.
Right.
Crazy.
So AI is helping us find out if there was ever life on Mars.
Potentially, yeah.
Wow.
What else could it do?
Well, one of the videos we've got, Future Tech, actually talks all about how revolutionary AI is becoming for space exploration. And one of the big things is it can just analyze huge amounts of data.
Yeah, way more than we ever could.
From all these satellites and rovers that we've got out there.
Exactly like having a whole team of research assistants, but they never get tired.
Right.
And they never need a break.
Wow, that's impressive.
But it's not just about crunching numbers, It can even take on some of the tasks that would be really dangerous or even impossible for us.
Like what?
Like designing spacecraft that can survive in the extremes of space.
Designing spacecraft. AI can do that.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Algorithms can go through loads of different designs and take into account all sorts of stuff like structural integrity, the materials they're using, even mission-specific challenges like radiation and crazy temperatures.
Wow.
It helps engineers make these spacecraft that are way more efficient and resilient and can basically push the limits of what we can explore.
It's amazing.
And of course, you mentioned self-driving earlier. The video talks about autonomous navigation like SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, isn't that using AI to dock with the International Space Station?
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
AI is really making space travel safer and more efficient.
That's amazing.
And the video even talks about interstellar travel, which is pretty wild.
Interstellar travel, what do they say about that?
Well, they bring up the Breakthrough Starshot initiative,
Okay.
which aims to send these tiny spacecraft to Alpha Centauri, our closest star system.
Yeah.
And these spacecraft would be powered by these super powerful lasers.
Really?
Yeah, and they'd rely heavily on AI for pretty much everything, navigating, avoiding hazards, even communicating back to Earth over these huge distances.
So AI-powered probes go into other star systems?
Yeah, it's pretty sci-fi stuff.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But with all this data and complex navigation and stuff,
right?
We must need some serious computing power.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's where the NASA article on supercomputing comes in.
Okay.
It gives us a glimpse into the incredible powerhouses that are behind all these AI applications.
So the brains behind the AI brawn.
Exactly. They're tackling some pretty huge challenges like redesigning the Artemis launch environment.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
Yeah, making airplanes more fuel efficient.
Oh, right.
Creating advanced weather and climate models like you wouldn't believe.
Wow.
Even simulating things like how neutron stars behave.
Huh.
All of which is, essential for making space exploration safer and more effective.
So supercomputers are like the unsung heroes of the space program.
Pretty much, yeah. They're doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes.
So tell me more about this Artemis launch environment thing.
Yeah, so during the Artemis launch, there was this interaction between the rocket's exhaust and the sound suppression system, and it actually caused some damage to the launch platform.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was a bit of a setback, but that's where the supercomputers came in.
Okay.
Researchers used this supercomputer called Aitken to basically simulate the launch environment and figure out what went wrong.
Wow.
And the data from those simulations helped engineers redesign the system and hopefully prevent that kind of damage from happening again.
So supercomputers are troubleshooting in real time for like the biggest challenges in space exploration.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about this fuel-efficient airplane design?
Oh, yeah, that's really cool, too.
Mm-hmm.
They can use supercomputers to basically experiment with tons of different wing shapes and fuselage designs and all these components in a virtual environment.
So they don't have to actually build it. They just do it on the computer.
Exactly. And by running simulations, they can optimize those designs to reduce drag and improve fuel efficiency.
Wow. So like the tiny little design tweaks we see on airplanes could actually be the result of massive supercomputer calculations.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy.
It's amazing what they can do. And that's not even getting into weather and climate modeling.
Okay.
NASA has been working with IBM to develop this incredible weather climate model called Prithvi.
Okay.
And it's trained on just massive amounts of data.
Wow.
And it can simulate all sorts of weather and climate phenomena with just crazy accuracy.
So is this like AI-powered weather forecasting?
Exactly. Like imagine being able to predict and prepare for extreme weather events with incredible precision.
That would be amazing.
It would be a game changer.
Wow.
And it's not just about predicting weather here on Earth.
Right.
They're also using these supercomputers to understand some of the most extreme environments in the universe.
Okay, like what?
Like neutron stars.
Neutron stars?
Yeah, they're those incredibly dense remnants of collapsed stars.
Right.
Fascinating, but also like incredibly difficult to study directly.
Right.
So scientists are using supercomputers to basically simulate the extreme conditions inside these stars.
So we can see what's happening inside a neutron star.
Kind of, yeah. It's like having a virtual window into these mysterious objects.
That's incredible.
That is pretty amazing.
So, but let's get to this Ostrom YouTube video and this classified U.S. AI program called Sentient.
Okay.
This is where things get a little sci-fi.
A little bit, yeah.
So what is this Sentient thing?
Well, it's described as this highly autonomous AI system that can analyze huge amounts of data spot patterns, predict future events.
Okay.
And even according to the video, direct satellites to areas of interest.
Hold on. Direct satellites. So this AI is making decisions about where to point our eyes in space.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Wow.
And, I mean, it's not completely out there when you think about it.
Go ahead.
There are commercial companies like BlackSky that are already using AI to analyze satellite imagery and predict things like crop yields and natural disasters.
Right.
So it's not crazy to think that government agencies might be doing something similar, but on a much bigger scale.
Right, so this sentient AI is like a super-powered intelligence analyst.
Yeah, constantly watching the world from space.
It's kind of freaky when you think about it.
It does make you wonder what kind of data it's looking at and what it means for things like, privacy.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's definitely something to think about. It's like the whole debate about powerful AI systems, the balance between the good they can do and the risks that come with them.
Right, because, we've talked about self-navigating rovers.
Yeah.
Supercomputers designing spacecraft.
All right.
Now we've got this mysterious AI watching over us from space.
It's a lot to take in.
This is a wild ride.
It is, and we've only just scratched the surface.
I know. Can't wait to keep going, but we're going to have to take a break.
All right.
And when we come back, we'll look more into the potential of AI like sentient and what it could mean for the future of humanity's relationship with technology.
Sounds good. Welcome back. It's amazing to think how quickly AI is already changing things out in space.
It really is. Like, we've already seen it do some pretty incredible things. Self-navigating rovers, supercomputers that can design spacecraft, and even this sentient thing, keeping an eye on things from up above.
Yeah, that one's a bit unsettling, isn't it?
It is super cool, but yeah, it's also a little bit creepy.
A little bit. But before we dive into the potential downsides, let's look at some of the ways this kind of technology could actually be really beneficial.
Okay, so what could a system like sentient actually do for us?
Well, imagine being able to predict and maybe even prevent huge catastrophic events. Sentient could be used to detect things like, asteroids heading for Earth, or even predict really big natural disasters before they happen, giving us time to prepare and hopefully save lives.
So like a planetary early warning system.
Exactly. And that's just here on Earth.
Okay, so what about out in space? Could it help us make new discoveries?
Absolutely. With all that data from satellites and telescopes, it could analyze everything and find patterns that we might miss.
Okay.
It could lead to discovering new planets, new galaxies, maybe even things we haven't even thought of yet.
So it's like a super-powered astronomer.
Yeah, working 24/7 to learn more about the universe.
That's amazing. But, okay, if this thing is so powerful, what's stopping it from becoming, too powerful? What about someone using it for bad stuff?
That's definitely a concern, and it's something that experts are really thinking about.
So how do we prevent that?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is making sure these AI systems are aligned with human values and goals.
Okay, so we need to make sure it's working for us, not against us. But how do we even do that?
It's tricky, but one way is to carefully design its objectives and how it makes decisions, like building in ethical constraints, making sure we understand how it reaches its conclusions, and having people overseeing it, monitoring what it's doing.
So it's not just about making it super smart. It's about making it responsible.
Exactly. And even if we do manage to create an AI that's powerful and ethical, what kind of impact would that have on the future of space exploration?
Right, what would that look like?
Well, it could really speed up the pace of discovery.
Yeah.
Imagine a whole fleet of spacecraft controlled by AI, exploring the solar system, collecting data, making decisions on their own, and all communicating with each other in real time.
That's insane. It would be like having an army of robot explorers out there.
Yeah, pretty much. But what about human astronauts? Would we even need them anymore?
That's a good question. I mean, wouldn't it be safer to just send robots to do all the dangerous stuff?
It would be safer, but there's something special about human exploration.
Yeah, there's something magical about humans going out there and experiencing it for themselves.
Exact. There's that human drive to explore, to push the boundaries, to see and feel the universe firsthand. I don't think AI can ever truly replace that.
So you think it would be more of a collaboration then? Like AI and humans working together?
Yeah, definitely. AI can handle the stuff that machines are good at, like analyzing data, dealing with dangerous environments, operating complex systems.
Okay.
And that frees up humans to do what we do best, asking the big questions, making scientific breakthroughs, inspiring the next generation of explorers.
So like a true partnership.
Exactly. It's
Wow.
like we each bring something different to the table, creating this powerful team that can achieve more than either of us could alone.
I like that that's a much better vision of the future than robots taking over everything.
It is, and it's not just about space exploration either.
Okay.
The challenges we face in space, like building resilient technology, solving complex problems, making ethical decisions, those are challenges we face here on Earth, too.
So the stuff we learn out in space can help us back here at home.
Yeah, and the same goes for AI. The things we learn developing AI for space exploration that can have a big impact on how we use it here on Earth.
Like for tackling climate change or improving healthcare.
Exactly.
Wow. It's crazy to think that exploring the universe could lead to a better life for all of us here on Earth.
It is amazing. But with all this talk about the future, what are the big unanswered questions about AI in space exploration? What keeps you up at night?
That's a good question. I mean, there are so many things we don't know.
Right, and one of the biggest challenges is understanding the long-term implications of these autonomous AI systems.
So, like, as they get more sophisticated and start making decisions without us.
Yeah, we need to make sure those decisions still align with our values and goals. It's not just about making sure it's ethical today, it's about making sure it stays ethical as it keeps learning and evolving.
Yeah, how do we do that?
Well, one way is to develop really strong testing and validation methods for these AI systems, making sure they do what they're supposed to, even in situations we didn't anticipate.
Like putting in safeguards to prevent the AI from, going off script.
Exactly. We also need to figure out who's responsible if something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is, and it's going to require a lot of collaboration between experts in different fields.
So it sounds like we're in uncharted territory here.
We are. As we create these super powerful AI systems, we need to figure out new rules and frameworks to govern how they're used both in space and here on Earth.
That's a big responsibility.
It is, but it's also an amazing opportunity. We're at a point where we can actually shape the future of AI and make sure it's used to benefit everyone.
It's exciting and a little scary all at the same time.
Yeah, but I think this conversation has helped me understand the potential and the challenges a lot better.
Me too. So what else should we be thinking about as we move forward into this new era of AI and space exploration?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Right.
The choices we make today about how we develop and use AI will have a huge impact on the future, both in space and here on Earth.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about our intentions and how we choose to use it.
Exactly. It's a huge responsibility, but also an incredible privilege.
Okay.
We have the opportunity to be part of something really special to shape the future of exploration and discovery, and maybe even the future of humanity.
Wow, that's a lot to think about.
It is.
I think we need a moment to process all of this.
Yeah, good idea.
So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up with some final thoughts on the implications of AI in space exploration and what it all means for humanity's relationship with technology. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on quite a journey exploring AI in space exploration.
It really has been fascinating.
From rovers driving themselves around on Mars to those supercomputers designing spacecraft. And of course, we can't forget about sentient, this AI that's maybe watching us from space.
Yeah, a lot to think about for sure.
It really is. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are your biggest takeaways? What surprised you the most?
I think what really gets me is just how fast AI is advancing.
Yep.
It wasn't that long ago that AI designing a spacecraft seemed like pure science fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's becoming real. It's really incredible how quickly things are changing.
It really is. It makes you wonder what's next. What's the future of space exploration going to look like with all this AI?
One thing I'm really excited about is the potential for AI to help us make some really big discoveries.
Like what kind of discoveries?
Imagine an AI that could analyze all the data from our telescopes and find those tiny little patterns that we might miss.
Yeah.
Patterns that tell us about a new planet or a distant galaxy, or even signs of life beyond Earth.
It'd be like having a superpowered detective out there in the universe.
Exactly, but beyond those scientific discoveries, what about human exploration?
Like, will we even need astronauts anymore with all this AI doing so much?
That's a tough question, and I don't think there's an easy answer.
Yeah.
On the one hand, AI could definitely do a lot of the dangerous stuff that astronauts do now.
Yeah, like exploring planets with harsh environments or going on long missions in deep space.
Right, exactly. It would be much safer to send robots.
But there's something so inspiring about human exploration, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
Like sending a probe to Mars is cool.
Yeah.
But having a person actually walk on Mars and tell us what it's like to be there,
yeah.
that's something else entirely.
There's just something about that human experience, that drive to explore and see and feel things for ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't think AI can ever replace that completely.
So you see it more as a collaboration then? Humans and AI working together?
Definitely. I think AI can handle the things that machines are good at, the data analysis, the dangerous tasks, operating complex systems.
Okay.
And that frees up humans to do what we do best, asking those big questions, making breakthroughs, and inspiring the next generation.
This is a team effort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We each bring something different to the table, and together we can achieve so much more.
It's a much more hopeful vision of the future than robots taking over.
It is, and it's not just about space exploration either. The challenges we face in space, building tough technology, solving complex problems, making ethical decisions, those are challenges we face here on Earth too.
So the stuff we learn out in space can help us back here at home.
Absolutely, and the same goes for AI. The advances we make in AI for space exploration can have a huge impact on how we use it here.
For tackling climate change, for improving healthcare.
Exactly. There are so many possibilities.
It's amazing to think that exploring the universe could actually lead to a better life for everyone here on Earth.
It really is, but we also need to be realistic. This future we're talking about with AI playing such a big role, it also brings up some ethical concerns.
Right, because it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it.
Exactly. And as we develop these incredibly powerful AI systems, we need to think about the potential consequences for things like privacy autonomy, even the future of humanity.
So we need to make sure that AI is used responsibly, not just in space, but here on Earth too.
Absolutely.
But how do we do that? How do we make sure that AI is used for good?
That's something that a lot of really smart people are working on right now.
Okay.
One important thing is to design these AI systems with transparency and accountability in mind.
So we can understand how they make decisions.
Exactly. We need to be able to see how they work and make sure that their decisions align with our values.
So it's not just about creating smart AI, it's about creating ethical AI.
Right. AI that we can trust.
And we need rules and regulations too.
Right.
To make sure that AI is used safely and ethically.
Definitely. That's going to be crucial as these technologies become more and more powerful.
It feels like we're standing at the edge of something brand new.
We are. It's a really exciting time.
And a little bit scary.
It is, but it's also an incredible opportunity to shape the future.
Yeah, we have the chance to make sure that AI is used to benefit all of humanity.
and to explore the universe in ways we never thought possible.
Wow. This has been an incredible conversation.
It really has.
I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this topic,
Yeah.
but I've learned so much.
Me too. There's so much more to explore.
To all our listeners out there, keep asking questions, keep learning, and let's work together to create a future where AI helps us explore the universe and build a better world for everyone.